Welcome back guys to my weekly countdown series. Last week we had the top 10 racing moments, and this week we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 must-own apartments, offices and garages. So I'm going to be taking you through a countdown of, in my opinion, the must-own properties in GTA 5 Online. I'd also like to say a quick thanks to GTA Forums for help researching for this video, and to my friend AWOL for helping me purchase some of these properties to show off in this video. So let's get right into this. Coming in first at the number 10 spot is the Maze Bank Tower office. Now you might be wondering, why does this office only come at the number 10 position? And it's just because of the extreme price. This is going to set you back $4 million if you buy this in a week with no discounts, and that's without any upgrades. And that's why it's only at the number 10 position. So I'm going to be showing two other offices within this countdown that I believe are better overall offices for their price. But don't get me wrong, having an office in the Maze Bank definitely has some bragging rights, and it's why it made it into this list at all. You can also actually see the Vinewood sign from the window, and it's just the tallest skyscraper in San Andreas, giving it possibly one of the best views. Well, that's if you're into concrete jungle views, that is. So if you are the kind of player that has hundreds of millions in the bank and money isn't a problem of yours, then the Maze Bank Tower could be for you, since it does have quite a central location and it could save you valuable travel time. But if you are more of an average player and you maybe don't potentially have hundreds of millions in the bank, I'm going to be showing you several better options within this countdown. At the number 9 spot is 1893 Grapeseed Avenue. And this is probably a property that you did not expect to see on here, but bear with me guys. This is a great example of why you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, and although this place looks like a dump on the outside, it's also a dump on the inside. But the reason that it's made it into this list is just its location and its price. So this property only costs $118,000. All in all, it's just a nice little spawn point way out of the city and has a nice little 2-car garage. And I'd recommend actually storing maybe a couple of dirt bikes in here or something, since this property is actually right next to Mount Chiliad. So yeah, it's a great spawn point if you want to make your way up to the top of the map. And there's actually a land strip just across the road from this property, so if you want to hang out here, you can go and grab the plane from that landing strip and work on your flying skill. At the number 8 spot is the Tinsel Towers. Now there's 3 different properties you can choose from in Tinsel Towers, and I'd personally recommend apartment number 42. It is the most expensive of the 3 Tinsel properties at $492,000. However, it does have one of the nicest views of Los Santos. I'll be honest, my video here probably doesn't do this apartment justice since I did film it at night time, but it does come with a very nice interior, which you'll also see here. And as you'll see, the layout of this apartment is actually all on the same floor, so it's super easy to kind of move around and navigate while you're inside. And of course also comes with a 10-car garage. Next up is Northkers Avenue 2044, and this is one of the stilt houses in Vinewood Hills. And it's pretty worth getting a stilt house in GTA. I think they're very, very nice apartments. And this one is available for $762,000 and also comes with a 10-car garage. In my opinion, if you want to buy a stilt house, this is the best stilt house that you can buy in GTA 5 Online, and probably the only one you'll really need. It's got a great location right next to Vinewood Boulevard, so it's quite a peaceful location, it's not too busy with other players, and it's also right behind the Pacific Standard Bank for quick heisting. So if you are someone that does a lot of heists to save money, that'll definitely save you some travel time heading over to the Pacific Standard. And yeah, I really like the layout of this apartment, both inside and out, and plus the view is pretty awesome from the window. And if you want to check out the view in even more glory, I'm going to show you some gameplay of me checking it out during the daytime. And as you'll see, this apartment actually comes with a pretty sweet balcony around the front, which you can access from just walking around the side. And you don't even need to climb over anything, you can just walk straight through the gate, around the front to the balcony. And doesn't that look nice? The next property I'm going to show is 76 Greenwich Parkway. So with new cars being added into GT Online all of the time, it's definitely worth considering buying just a separate garage to dump some of your cars into. And also, don't just buy any old garage when you want to do this. You know, you want to buy a garage strategically for when you're accessing popular locations. The reason I decided to go with this one is because it's in a quiet location, you're not going to be bothered by other players too much, plus it's also like one of the closest spawn points to the airport, and you're also right next door to Los Santos Customs. You can pick this one up for just $120,000, which really isn't a lot to pay for a 10-car slot. Next up, we're going to be going over another office. This is the Arcadius Business Center. This is actually the office I personally purchased when the CEO update came. And it is a nice office for a few reasons. However, I will be offering an even higher office in this countdown that I believe is better all in all for its price. So the Arcadius office does have a really nice downtown location in Los Santos and costs much less than the Maze Bank. This one actually starts at 2.25 million. Although this building is still a skyscraper, it is a bit shorter or not so high as the Maze Bank, which actually isn't so much of a bad thing. You know, this one can offer quite a nice sniper vantage point, but it's also easier to fly back to since you're not having to fly all the way back to one of the highest offices in the game or highest buildings in the game when you want to land on the helicopter spot. However, be warned that the Arcadius does make you walk up 2 whole sets of stairs to get to the helipad, so it does take a little bit of time to access that. I also think one really awesome feature of this office that's quite overlooked sometimes is the underground car parking. You know, there's nothing better than some secure underground car parking in GTA 5 Online. And I've also been recommended by other people that they use this when they're chased by the police, and apparently when you hide in this underground car parking area, it can actually break the line of sight of the police, even at 5 stars. So this could be a handy way to you know, lose your police wanted level in your office if you're wanting to go with this option. But generally, this property can be a good buy for its location. It's got a great proximity to warehouses and also its price point, working out nearly half of the price of the Maze Bank West for a downtown location. At the number 4 spot is the Eclipse Towers. Now if you're looking for a penthouse, the Eclipse Towers are for you. There are a whole bunch of apartments in this tower, but the most expensive one is Penthouse Suite 3, and it is pretty damn impressive. This one will set you back 1.1 million, which I believe is still the most expensive property in the game, but as you'll see in this video, I believe it is worth this price if you have quite a few million to spare. It's also worth bearing in mind that since this is the most expensive apartment, it's obviously going to be the one that's accompanied with most griefers or other players waiting outside. It's nowhere as bad as it used to be in the heyday of GT Online, but there still is some people hanging around this one that might attract some attention, so it's definitely something to take into consideration if you're going to be buying a property. If you're maybe someone that prefers a bit more of a peaceful location, this one might not be personally for you. At the number 3 spot is the Altis Street Tower. Now number 3 Altis Street comes with 2 different apartment choices. You can either go with apartment 10 or apartment 57. Now if you're looking for a 10-car garage and don't want to break the bank, apartment 10 is actually only 217,000, which is great bang for your buck. Now I'll admit the view on this apartment isn't the greatest, you know, there's a crane and some scaffolding outside, but you do get the downtown location with this apartment and you get really good access to the airport also. Right outside this one you'll also find an underground tunnel, so if you want to make a quick escape you have that access there, and there's also a train here if you want to hop on, and I believe this train will take you right to the Maze Bank West or the Stonebank offices. Another little perk to this apartment is I believe that Altis Street Tower is the closest apartment to the Pegasus delivery zone, so if you're using that to call in your Buzzard or any other air vehicles. It's also a great location for the ammunition with the shooting range. If you're looking to do any daily challenges, it's quite close by. At the number 2 spot is Delperro Heights Apartment 7. The Delperro Heights building comes with 3 different apartment options, and it's apartment number 7 that makes it into this very honourable number 2 position. And the reason it does is because it features a 10-car garage for just 200,000, which is just a bargain really. It's also a pretty safe location. You know, I've not seen too many other players at this apartment block, so if you want to stay away from some of the more crazier apartments, this could be a good choice. The reason this one made it to the number 2 position for me though is because it's right next to the Stonebank office, so they're just a perfect match together. And it's also just along the road from one of the cocaine properties, so all in all, this location and price just make it a must own in my opinion. And that leaves me with the number 1 must own property, which is the Stonebank West office. This one will actually set you back 3.1 million if you buy it at full price, but if you look at it for a discount week, you might be able to snag yourself a cheeky discount on this one. But in my opinion, this office is worth every single penny. Views wise, you get probably one of the best office views in my opinion, or even apartment views if you want to set this as your main spawn point. I absolutely love the view here. The gameplay probably doesn't do the view too much justice as it's kind of rainy and misty here. But as you can see, we've got the Delperro Pier just outside, and that's obviously based on the Santa Monica Pier in real life, which I'm a big fan of. And I also just love being right close to the beach here, so it's just like a couple of blocks away from the beach, and great access to your yacht if you have one of those too. I think one of the main things I like about this office is just how accessible the helipad is. You know, I tend to use my Buzzard chopper all the time when I'm coming in and out, so if you guys are like me and use your Buzzard a lot, you can make super fast exits using this office. Since the building isn't too high itself, your chopper doesn't have to fly all the way up to a big skyscraper. You know, you can quite easily fly up and land on this building quite quickly. Especially if your helicopter isn't in very good shape, it's going to be quite tricky to land on maybe the Maze Bank office, whereas this one is going to be pretty easy. I'll also show you guys the view from the roof on this office, and as you can see, it's a pretty nice location to do some sniping on top. It's a pretty nice height for that. I guess the only drawback for this office would be the location. It does somehow feel a little bit out of the way than say the more downtown offices, so the Arcadius office or the Maze Bank office that I showed in this video. So if you are needing a more downtown location and want to cut out on that travel time, then it might be worth going with one of those other options. But I think all in all, this is probably my #1 must-own office. So let me know in the comments, guys, what your favourite property is in GTA 5 Online. Let me know if I've missed any in the comments, if there's any that should have made it into this list that I should check out. If you watched this video all the way to the end, I'd really appreciate if you could take a few seconds to leave the video a like. It really helps out the series, and also subscribe so you don't miss out on any more of these must-own episodes. I'll also link my last few countdowns on screen. I do one of these every single week, so we've got the top 10 epic racing moments and also the top 10 useless features. Have yourselves a great weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Flipping cars, I dip the scene. Flipping heights, yeah, with the team. You know me, got the antidote. I spit it sick up in Los Santos. Dodging missiles, dodging bullets. Coming at me now, tell me to pull it. I'm a G, D-O